Okay, so we're starting a Q&A right now. We got some questions. Shelby, Jay, I think I might have missed a couple, especially if you're on Twitch. I probably missed if you said anything right in the beginning. First question: Are you still a Trump voter? I've never voted for Trump, and I'm probably not going to vote for him this year. Hello there, loner stoner. First worst, second best. Took long enough, Shelbs. Welcome everyone. I have serious concerns about this Q&A. I have a feeling that there'll be a lot of questions, and I'll have a hard time answering them all. But I will go until 9:45. 9:45 is the cutoff. Don't ask any more questions after that. But I will answer them all the way up until then. But if you ask after that, you're going to have to wait till next time. Do you think your dad is proud of you? I think that he's slightly proud of me right now, but in the beginning of the year, he definitely wasn't. So, got 3 parts questions of 5 questions. Okay. I have an important question. I'm tired of seeing Michael's face today. That's not a question, Shelby. Oh, God. Who went too far, Joseph Stalin or Mao Zedong? I don't know a lot about either of those people, but I know that a lot of people died under their reign, so probably both of them. Are you happy? I would say I'm fairly happy. To be, happy, I don't know, that's a really complicated question, but I'm happier than I've been in the past by quite a bit. First question, why do you not use soap? I use soap sometimes. I don't use it all the time because it really dries my hands out and, it really irritates me. So I just can't do it all the time. But after I, poop and stuff, I always use soap. So what made you do this for a stream? I just thought it was a good idea, Loner Stoner. Just curious. Which is your favorite evolution? And I demand an answer. That's a good question. I like the first one. I like the OG, the small, cute one. Too bad Bukursky isn't streaming. You could look at that. Greetings from Australia. Hello, John. Whose monogram is on Harley's bed blanket? That's a great question. Let me see if I can find out. It says CMS, but I found it on the side of the road, so I have no idea whose it is. Would you consider yourself an exhibitionist? Let's see if I can Google this. Answer it in time here. Exhibitionist. Person who behaves in an extravagant way in order to attract attention. Yeah, I think this counts as exhibitionism. Not in the way I'm acting, but doing this project. This is clearly to get attention, in a sense, maybe not in the same sense as Jake Paul or something, but definitely this is to attract attention to the idea that I'm doing. Have you seen Digimon? Why haven't you? I haven't seen it. Would you like to do a documentary based on your experience? Yes, greetings from Mexico. Hello, Elias. Greetings to you too. I would like to do a documentary. I'm currently planning on doing one probably after the project is over. It is interesting to watch though, without it being creepy, I guess. Yeah, no, not creepy at all. That's the goal for sure. It's CMS. Oh, yeah. If I said that wrong, you're right, because the letters are different. Like my middle school. Are you still working for Alex Jones? I am. Yeah, I'm actually full-time on staff for Alex Jones. I do a lot of his work with conspiracy theories. I just kind of come up with them, and then I send them off to him, and he publicizes them. Soap is necessary. It's useful to be exposed to germs. Yeah, I kind of fall a little bit in that party, but I know that I get judged when I don't use soap when I wash my hands, so I use soap sometimes, but definitely after I poop, I use soap. And if I know that I've done something dirty I'm going to eat, then I definitely do that. What are your favorite sports and teams? To be honest, I don't really care that much about sports. I used to like the Packers when I was a kid, but that's just because I had a bunch of their football cards. But most importantly, do you think Ethan is watching your Robo stream? I don't think he is. Do you know you're handsome AF? No, I would say I'm probably average handsomeness, but maybe I just I don't know. I think that showing more of your life maybe just gets you more attention. Evie, I'm fighting you, Michael, not since. I'm sorry, Sexy Dance. I don't know anything. I honestly don't know much about Pokemon, but I looked up a couple, and that one was really cute. But I used to play like Sapphire when I was a kid. Does it add more excitement that people are getting off watching you getting off? No, it doesn't add. It's actually a little bit makes me a little bit anxious just like thinking about it, but it's only like relatively the same amount of anxiousness that I have in my entire life doing this project, so it's not a big deal at all. Do you study at A&M? Did you? No, I didn't, and I do not. Y'all are perverted. On your newsletter, you mentioned 50% confident you will not purchase a car this weekend, but you end closing the deal. Or did you decide to finally get the car? I decided to do it. I know that the salesman was probably BSing me when he said that he had another guy who made an offer, but I didn't really want to take any chances because I felt like that car was exactly what I was looking for. It was a perfect color, interior, great mileage, higher in the price range, but it was everything I wanted. And once he said that he'd be willing to replace the tires and brakes and still be a little bit under the original price, then I think I was pretty happy with that. I'm really excited about it. I feel semi-confident about that decision. I feel as confident as I could knowing what I know, and I'm really happy about it. I think it's way better than the other cars I was going to look at. So, but yeah, I wasn't sure. I definitely was probably a little bit less than 50% going into it, but that guy was great. He answered all my questions. He seemed really knowledgeable and genuine, and I was really happy to potentially buy a car from him, and especially buy that car. I really am excited about it. It drove fantastic. I mean, I wish you guys could have been in the seat. It was very responsive. It felt great. It felt like it had been taken well, I don't know how to speak English. Someone had taken care of it. Well, oh, you work with Alex Jones. No, I don't. That was just a joke. I joined 4 days ago. You should have given yourself time to decide about purchasing that Prius, though. We're happy if you finally have one. Thank you, John. You're probably not wrong, but the only thing that was important is I wanted a gray one. I wanted one with leather seats. I wanted one with probably second gen, certain price range, certain mileage. And it's definitely possible that more could have popped up that were mechanically sound in the next month or two. But I wanted one within definitely the next month. I wanted one as soon as possible, basically, so I could start making preparations for that period of my life. And I didn't want to take any chances with not being able to find one. So I think that it was the right call. And I'm going to go back tomorrow to buy. I see Mommy burning shading you. I see Mommy burn shading you now. You know, based on your answer, you can be president 2020. Do you keep up with other streamers? Thoughts on Ice? I don't keep up with them. I looked into it earlier in the year, and I think that anyone in the space right now, it's there. A lot of the people in the space right now are pushing the boundaries, and I think that that's a good thing in a lot of ways. I've seen negative stuff, definitely like compilations of like these are the worst streamers and stuff, but I try not to spend too much time watching that type of stuff. I'd be honored to meet many of the people who are big right now, although I don't like spend a lot of time watching their streams. I think that this space has clearly been pushed forward to a point where I felt comfortable entering it and doing what I'm doing now, and so I owe quite a deal to those people. How does it feel to be watching the bathroom? As I said a little bit ago, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a little bit feel a little bit anxious just knowing that there's a webcam in there, but it really isn't any different than having a conversation and knowing people are listening and that type of stuff. It's not that bad at all. I'm very used to it, and it was easy to get used to. It was all Shelby. Can I send you a housewarming gift when you move to the Prius? Sure, absolutely. My P.O. box is here. Feel free. Teabag. Was that you? That was me. Yeah, that was not a very funny video, but the other videos on the channel are very funny. Why are you at College Station? Honest question. I was always told it's just for students there. Yes, it is just for students. I came to help my uncle with real estate, basically. It's like a very vague answer, but essentially I was living in Amsterdam, and I made I was living in Amsterdam, and I was working on music with my friend, and I didn't have any plans. And my uncle told me that he was getting a house here, and he wanted someone to live at it and help him like set it up and everything, and he would let me live there for free in exchange for that. So I came out here last August to do that, and then while I was here, just like working on video projects and like brainstorming and stuff, I came up with the idea to do this project, and I felt like this was the perfect place to be. I hope that makes sense. He picked this place specifically because it was all college students, so he thought it'd be a good recurring, reliable rent stream. As a Scorpio rising, I'm a very private person, so I can never do something like this. Understandable. That's great. How long do you know Ethan? I met him in 7th grade. Me as a very private person, you're very private. Sexy dance. How do you know how you feel? How do you know how do you feel about this project so far? How do you know? How? I think you just meant to ask, how do you feel about this project so far? And right now I'm feeling very good about it. May I ask a very touchy family question? Yeah, ask anything you want. It isn't a subjective one. Ask literally anything you want. I'll tell you if it's too inappropriate to answer. That would only be if I felt like it really like endangered someone else's privacy or was inappropriate on their sake. What's the deal with the black paint? I love the color black in here. I think it's awesome. It made this room way cooler. I'm really happy I did it, and I've enjoyed my time in this room a lot more because of it. Will you consider earning doing this a little bit long term? Probably not continue streaming, but creating your own digital channel with regular content. It's possible. I think nothing's off the table, but I'm not thinking that far ahead at this point, so I wouldn't be able to give you a good answer. After this Q&A, can you please give Ethan a big hug for us? Sure. I have to have him come up here because I'm going to switch to the sleep stream right after it, but I'll give Ethan a big hug. Hey, Michael, how are you? One question. I love all your vids. Do you speak Spanish? Do you like to travel Latino America? I invited to my country, Colombia, in Carta. Honestly, I took Spanish in school. I don't really remember any of it, and I speak really terribly. I don't even try. I don't like to try. It's embarrassing. I'm really bad at the language, but I've been a little bit to Central America, and I think that a lot of those places are really amazing, the ones that I visited, and I would love to come to Colombia at some point. Thank you for the invite. I love what you're doing. Thank you, Damien. Will you be more private after this project or more carefree? It's a really good question, Andreas. I have no idea. I'll probably take some time and, pendulum back. I don't know. I couldn't answer that well. It's really awful. Dutch. Wait, are you Dutch? I'm not Dutch. I just spent about 6 months in Amsterdam, 5 or 6 months with my friend. He was studying abroad there, and I went to go live with him for a while because I wasn't doing anything. Would you say you lived beyond comfortable growing up? Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I was very middle class, and I think that now my parents are doing better than middle class. But while we were growing up, we were definitely very in the middle class, beyond comfortable. Yeah, my grandparents had a lot of money too, so they would give me nice Christmas presents and stuff. So I think beyond comfortable is fair. Is your last name pronounced Gerry or Gerry? It's pronounced Gerry. Excited for 5-part question. Michael, are you, Ethan, and Shelby going to cut a fresh triangle, a fresh single before the end of the year? Probably not. That's a good question, though, Naomi. Maybe if we get contracted by a record label or something. Oh, so you're not from Texas, you're from Amsterdam then? No, from neither of those places. I kind of moved around a bunch, but probably mostly from California. Shelby is going to rap. Yeah, Shelby's actually really good at rapping, if you guys didn't know. Is there any chance you can grow facial hair longer, not shave it all? I tried that a couple times this year, and Naomi can attest. Didn't look very good. I don't think that I am an adult enough. I'm not masculine enough yet. I'm not grown up enough to do it. My face isn't ready. But I want to do it at some point. I think it'd look good on me if I could grow it, but I can't grow it well yet. Hello, Guy. Hello. Shelby may be the next Bhad Bhabie. I couldn't agree more. I think that she has everything it takes and more. Is it possible to have a year-end party for the stream? Burn. Yes, it is possible, and that's my plan. I just messaged someone about this on Instagram. I want to invite everyone who's been a part of the stream and wants to come down here for a week and just be a part of the last week of the stream if they want. That's a tentative plan. Don't hold me to it, but I think that would be a blast. Naomi's coming for sure. Does Ethan know there's a strong fan base? Oh, shoot. Here we go. I'm getting for him to do self-pleasuring on RoboStream, and would he do it? You should ask him directly. He would probably be open to certain financial incentives, but it might take a little bit to sway him. Are you going to do this next year too? I'm not going to do it at the start of next year, but I'm not writing anything off. Can you ask the car seller to say hi to us tomorrow? Yeah, he is definitely a really handsome guy and very charismatic. So great used car salesman. Did you smoke in Amsterdam? No, I didn't. I mean, my friend, he smoked like a lot of cigarettes, and I like kind of like play smoked them with him, but it would just be like putting them in my mouth because I didn't really want to like inhale them in my lungs, which sounds very weird, but it was mostly just a joke. But no, I didn't smoke like I've never smoked weed, but that's a topic for another time. Or eat the brownies. No, not really me. Do you think Michael's favorite song is High Pitch? Okay, personally, when that song came out, I was impressed. Thought the production was good. I liked it. I don't think that has the best voice for it, but she fit the part okay, and I thought it was a good song. I think it is. Car Seller was Bay. Say it. A puppy pad. Yes, Michael tried to be like Lance. His face couldn't make it work. Very true. Cali's better than Texas to me. I like the weather a lot. The weather in Texas is really nice right now, though, too. Want me to get a haircut? I'm not sure. I might. Hopefully, I can get one from Toby at some point. What drugs have you theoretically have done? I no theoreticals. I'm very willing to like admit anything I've done. The only things I've taken, I took. What was it? It was like something similar to Xanax, but not Xanax this year once, earlier, like in January or something. And then I've done like a lot of amphetamines and then drank a lot of alcohol, but I really haven't done very many drugs. Is this right when hitting the $1,000 mark on Patreon? Patrons get to decide where you take a trip or something like that. Something like that. I'm probably going to make a list of ideas that would be like possible for me to do, and like that might be fun, and I know people want stuff, and then let you guys vote on it. But yeah, there's definitely a large element of truth to that statement. Can Shelby rap while you play the piano? Please play the piano more. All right, I will play the piano more, and you have to ask Shelby, are you serious about the invitation? Because I'll book tickets right now. Private. I'm serious. Don't hold me to it 100%. I'll tell you before you actually book tickets, but I want to do that really bad. I think it'd be a blast. As long as Ethan's okay with it, and everything will be okay with like the rental situation. I think pineapple on pizza, yes, absolutely, totally delicious. Naomi's coming. It'd be fun to come see you, but I'm too far away in Canada, unfortunately. Naomi's coming. She's from Canada. You guys should ride down together. And Michael, clarify for new fans, you didn't in fact hit the slopes in that infamous highlight. That's true. Yeah, I've never done cocaine. The reason for me not doing a lot of drugs is because I think that I don't know about like the term addictive personality, and like I don't know what that really means, but I think that anytime you try something, then like, you know, drugs, there's no doubt about it, drugs make you feel good when you do them, and to do that and then be aware of that sensation and its availability at all times, I think just makes your life harder than it has to be. So to be able to avoid it all makes everything easier, in my opinion. I should start getting a visa. Hell yeah, Burn. Please let us know at the end of your party of ever. I really want to come over. Hell yeah. I'd be stoked for you to come out, Burn. And I think that maybe we do it like the last week of the year. So like from Christmas to New Year's or something. Aside from annoying messages you get from thirsty gay guys, what has been the worst experience you've had since starting the last quarter of this project? That's a really good question. The worst experience. I don't know. Probably just going back to paint that house so many times. It was really miserable, and like, I mean, it just sounds like I'm complaining about nothing. Like, yeah, I had to work and paint a house, but it was really demoralizing, and I hated it. I didn't like doing it, and I don't know. It's so dumb. It's such a dumb thing to complain about, but weed's kind of overrated, at least in my experience. But I spend money on clothes and shit. Yeah, that's fair. The drugs cost a lot of money too. Any substance costs more money than you probably expect because it's an addiction. Even coffee, and I can say that from experience. Alcohol is really expensive. That's a really expensive habit. Shoe size 11 or 10 and a half. 10 and a half is better, but if I have to choose between 10 and 11, 11. Mike should never question his own existence just because he wasn't able to grow up a big beard boy. Have you ever been restricted from entering places for having a camera? Yes, a couple times, but not as many as I would have expected this year. The weather is nice right now, but rarely for long. Today was today was incredible. Do you live in Austin, Patrick? Adavan. No, it wasn't that. Um, there's a highlight on my highlights channel of me of it. I think it says it in the title or something. So if you looked it up, you'd be like, it's like me, Hunter, and Ethan, and it was I can't remember what it's called. Can you do 20 pull-ups? I haven't tried. I think I could probably do like 18. But I'm gonna train, and I'm gonna keep doing the same thing I've been doing pretty much, and try and increase those numbers until I can max out the Marine physical fitness test for pull-ups, which I think is like 23 or something. But I haven't done a max in a while, so I'm not sure. But I think I can do more than 16. Don't do any drugs, not worth it. Only brings trouble. Enjoy living. Yeah, I feel that. Not that that would be my position permanently, because your worldview changes, your value systems change, and then it makes your decision making change. But that's kind of how I feel right now. That's my official opinion at the moment. Why do people think I can rap sober? Because you can, Shelby. We believe in you. Do drugs. Drugs are fun. Don't listen to Rick. It'd be so cool if I'm in Canada too. I wish I can come. Your piano playing is very soothing and proficient. Thank you. I would argue on the proficient part, but I'm glad you find it soothing. I'm impressed with your mixture of jazz, classical, pop sound with very smooth transitions. When did you last play gigs? When did I last play gigs? The only time I ever played something that was like close to a gig was I was on a cruise ship when I was a senior in high school, and I would go and just like play this piano that they had out in the space, and like some people would like sit down and listen to it, and I'd play it for like an hour, and then they would clap, and I would leave. I did that like 5 times, but that's not a gig. I've never played gigs. That's literally the closest I've come. But that's funny. Thank you, though. Appreciate that. I think you have high willpower and self-aware. I think you could do addictive things and quit it. That's possible, Sexy Dance, but I think it's more about just like, everything that you do is like we're making decisions all the time, and the fewer decisions that you have to make, the easier it is to direct that mental energy towards making good decisions in the ones that you do have to make. So I feel like if you can just be in your mind like, no, I'm just going to not do that because it's just not something I do, or I don't know. That's kind of my perspective. I don't know if I could probably devote more time to that question. Any message you want to say to your audience on the other side? LPSG, any updates? I don't really have any updates. I don't know. Thanks for watching. I live in South Carolina, 8 or 9 hours. Cool. Jesus, John, really. I watched your Fear Factor. Did your dad enjoy the jet ski? We didn't give him one. I tried to get him one. I offered, but my price range for a jet ski was below the quality of jet ski he wanted, so he just told me to wait. Or are you going? But if I ever make a lot of money one day, I'll buy him a really nice one. Are you going to take that guy up on his offer to do a video? I don't think I would. That's not really for me. What I'm doing in the bathroom is like very much something that would only exist in the context of this project, just like so many other elements of it, like some of the things that are more invasive of privacy of other people and stuff, like all that, it's not things that I would normally do. So, but, I think that if the numbers are right, Ethan might be interested. He didn't get the jet ski, desperation, and John Cruz question. You ever feel like you had to censor parts of your personality because of the camera? In the very beginning of the year, I did truly feel like I couldn't be as like confrontational as I wanted to be, and as I am as a person. I tried to just be more like of a mediator, and it was really sickening to watch it back because I felt like I was watching someone who was not myself, and it made me really mad. And a lot of that had to do with alcohol. Removing my ability to like just have my brain work properly and make decisions and be aware of who I am and what I'm doing and what I don't want to do and what I do want to do, and a lot of facts about the project itself, and that it is about being yourself and not transforming yourself in any way. So That's a good answer. I'm a student here, born and raised in Houston. Cool. I like exploring Texas. There's lots to see. Yeah, Texas is a huge place with tons of cool stuff. That's a good question. It's me. Express it. But to go on, like, you couldn't be silly. To go on with that, for the remainder of the year, I've been absolutely holding nothing back. I mean, Ethan and I make the most insensitive, controversial, and misconstruable, if that's a word, jokes that are like physically, humanly possible. And I mean, we crack up, and we don't care. Like, people could cancel me. Anyone can cancel me. Like, I should be canceled for the things that we say, but it's like, it's all a joke, and the people who watch it know it's a joke. And so yeah, I don't care. It's my life, and it would feel very wrong at this point for me to censor anything or act differently. Do you get annoyed that as people are only looking at this experiment on a micro level at nudity jerking off compared to what it is as a whole? I do not get annoyed about that at all. The only aspects I get annoyed about are if people ask me to like do something like, I get a little annoyed if people ask me to like, I don't know, just if people are asking for me to do more than what I'm doing, clearly in any situation, that's a little bit of an annoyance, because it's like, that's contrary to the nature of the project. It's like you are watching what I'm doing. You're not influencing what I'm doing and like creating the narrative. Like, I'm creating the narrative. It's my life. So, and that I tend to really only see that from the people who are watching, like from that select group of people that you're talking about. And it's really not bad. It really is not an overwhelming number of people who do that, and it's very manageable, especially since I made that last newsletter that talked about it. And so I'm grateful for that. But that is the only thing that annoys me a little bit. Like, as I used to say back in earlier Q&As, when people would be like, fart, please fart. It's like, I don't know. That's the only thing. Are you ready for stereotypes that go with driving a Prius? Absolutely. I don't think there are any bad ones or any ones that I wouldn't be willing to embrace. And then I'd have to embrace a lot worse stereotypes from living in my car than driving a Prius. So I'm ready for it all. Just don't want to hear that van by the river joke ever again. Hello, Beth. Good evening. Drugs are terrible. I have first-hand experience. If you can live without them, you don't need them. Those who need them. Those who need them need help for whatever reason they cannot. That's definitely a perspective, and a fair one. I think that arguments can be made against that, but I think that is one that a lot of people hold, and it has a lot of validity to it. Hey, Beth, me watching Big Brother live stream a lot. Nice to meet you, Michael. So love. I bought a Jetta because I like the stereotypes. Stereotypes. Are you wearing this? Are you enjoying this cooler? I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, fantastic. River Flows in You. I would love to see you play that. All right, I play that every once in a while. Bern can attest. So if you watch enough piano playing, you'll probably see it. Worst negative feedback reaction to you doing this? The one that comes to my mind, my dad's reactions were a little bit like, they really bothered me in the beginning, because it was like, felt very like he really didn't like what I was doing and thought it was a waste of time and money and stuff. But aside from that, like, that bothering me the most. But the worst reaction I got was someone on Twitch said, my description on Twitch was like, I did this project because no one ever did it, and I thought that like it was a good idea and I was in the right place to do it. And someone said, have you ever thought that no one has done this because it's fucking stupid? Or I think that's how it was worded or something like that. But I thought that was pretty negative, and sat with me for a little bit. But most people are the opposite of that in terms of reaction. It's going to be like 90 degrees in Texas, at least verbally. They're the opposite. Your podcast earlier today was awesome. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Do you always schedule that early? Yeah, that's the every other Sunday at 5:30 a.m. It's at Denny's. It's intended to be uncomfortable and one of the more just push you outside of your comfort zone podcasts that we could come up with to just create more interesting conversations and, you know, spark some connections that aren't normally sparked. I don't know. It's just a funny idea. Wait, 90, no. What was it? Oh, it's too bad. It's going back up. By the way, about music, you should go to your local Steinway Society house, play for a while. That would be cool. I don't know if we have any, I don't know if we have one of those here. What does your brother think about your NSFW stream? I don't know how much he knows about it, but I think he would probably just think it's savage and probably think that it's like pretty hilarious. He sees eye to eye on me with like a lot of aspects about the project, so I think he would definitely understand that one. Maybe I talked to him about it, I don't know, but I think that he probably would think it's pretty hilarious. Y'all are awful. Do you think you should? Am I missing like Twitch chats here? Oh, sorry. Has recording yourself become basically second nature to you? Sorry, I think it's the only one in here, but yes, it has become very second nature to me. Do you think you should show more love appreciation to Ethan rather than rag him so badly? No, I don't think so. I think I give Ethan the appropriate amount of appreciation. Maybe a little less than he deserves sometimes, but it's usually in a joking manner that I do that. And most of the ragging that I do for him is also a joke, so I don't really feel bad about it. I think that's a testament to the quality of our friendship, that is the relationship we have. Sorry for noob questions, new year, dentist, doctor situations go. I haven't done either this year, and no worries about noob questions. WYR, have a shower that keeps you clean for 7 days, or a bed? Oh, would you rather, or a bed that gives you a full night's rest? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Bed one, piece of cake. I'll take the bed. Yeah, I would take a bed that would give me a full night's rest in 8 hours, because every night sleeping with Harley, I feel like I don't get that. I'll take the bed. Don't know those weird questions. I could shower 1,000,000 times, and that time saved. Yeah, and I like showering a lot. I mean, I shower multiple times a day just because I enjoy it. We started viewing the previous videos at the start of this experiment, and someone was thinking you could be an asshole, but you have changed significantly for the better. Hey, that's great. I mean, I was an asshole, like, in a lot of ways. I think underlying, I was still the same person that I am now, and in a way, I'm still an asshole now, compared to a lot of people, but I think that my character has improved since the beginning of the stream, and it's been something that I've worked on. So, did you notice that change too? Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I should have read that. The rest of that. We need that bed. Yeah. Imagine. I mean, sometimes I think about if I was still drinking like this late into the experiment, and just living the same lifestyle that I was living at the beginning, like I would be like decrepit, and my life would be really miserable, and I would be like mad all the time, and I would have no skills or interests or prospects, and this stream would just be like not to rag on any other streamers, but it would be like a very toxic place where like a lot of the chat is just like making fun of me, and I don't know, it would be really bad, so I wouldn't be happy. Hashtag cancel Michael Gerry 2K19. Hashtag uncancel Michael Gerry. Michael Marie Gerry. What's my favorite number is the question. 7. When you're finished, is there anything about this project you think you're going to miss? There's a lot. I couldn't even begin to think about it. And it gets worse every day that the project gets bigger, and there are like more nice people reaching out, and everything, it gets worse, and it makes me more concerned. My original biggest concern with this project was that it would be everything that I wanted it to be, and then afterwards I would never be able to go back to normal reality because it would not be the same, and it would be less enjoyable. So that's my biggest concern, and yeah, I'm gonna miss a lot of aspects about it. I hope that something goes wrong in the next couple months so that it's not that bad of a transition. What are your plans after this experiment? I'm going to move into a Toyota Prius and probably travel around for a little bit and have a low profile. Bring Lance Goodfellow. Yes, Naomi. Make that one go viral on Twitter. Have you had any paranormal experience? No, not me. I think I'd like to see Michael really try to date someone before the year is over. Well, you better find someone really good for me to date then. Michael, would you ever do a mukbang with your slop and green smoothies? Don't I like technically do that all the time? Can you send kisses to Brazil? Yeah, I'll get an envelope after this. Your video, the naked part, is on porn website. I mean, I knew that would happen at some point. I don't know what to say. Like, I could petition them and have it taken down, but I don't know. It's part of the project. It is what it is. Unfair, I'm being filtered. Sorry, James. If my Nightbot or whatever is filtering you, I'm sorry about that. Did you really lose some of your friends when you started this project? Absolutely. Not like immediately starting the project, but just throughout the year, people have tapered off. It's shown me a lot more about people's characters that I spend time with, because I can go back and objectively watch moments and see how people react and act and talk to me and all that. And I didn't like a lot of what I saw from a lot of the people that I was spending time with. So it definitely was mutual and cutting down the friends list in a lot of ways. But some people just didn't want to talk to me or hang out with me after this project. So Twitch, I poop only on Thursday. Thoughts? That's too bad. That's probably a painful existence. Certain words are blocked. I came across a video where Mike B was probably drunk and he called you so many bad things. Can you tell us how you ended up being friends now? Burn. That video is a joke. You should go to my video. You should go to my YouTube channel and watch me and Lance's reaction to that. Go to Michael Gerry YouTube channel and you can see it. Yeah, I'm glad that it was convincing enough for you to think it's real, but you should watch our reaction to it. It's really funny. If he was on a porn website, someone should be passing along the monetary proceeds. I have to agree with that, Shelby. That would be fair. Has recording your son? Okay, there's the Twitch messages. What year is it? Are you female? It's 2013, and yes. Tell your best joke, pickup line. We'll rate it out of 10. My best joke is really, really long. I would tell it, but I can't. I don't have enough time. Best pickup line would maybe be like, hi. That's a powerful one. Your last words are 15 taps of your phone predictive text. What is your dying phrase? Oh, man. I don't know if I have enough time to run that experiment either. Probably would be a lot of ha-has in there. I tend to put ha-has in a lot of my texts. I would laugh as I went out. Do you think your parents compare you to your bro? Oh, I mean, of course. I think that all parents compare their kids in some ways, but I don't think that they like judge me against him. I think that they understand that I have my own aspirations and the things that I work for and want in life are different than what he wants. And at the end of the day, I think that my parents just want me to be happy. And they may have reservations about some of the things I'm doing sometimes, but that base interest in, them wanting what I want the most, I think, is good for differentiating me and Steven and not comparing us and saying one is necessarily more successful than the other. Because if they did do that, then Steven would be a lot more successful by any, societal standards. I feel a lot of admiration for you. Congratulations. Thank you. Does anyone ever text you, what are you doing? Yes. That's annoying. That's annoying. I'll say that. Never, please, don't ever DM me and say, what are you doing? What's up? You know what I'm doing. This is the only project in the world where you know what I'm doing all the time. If you're curious, please watch. That is annoying. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a great question. I can't describe this project as effing stupid. It's an interesting dig into voyeuristic and exhibitionist natures of people. Thanks, Patrick. I have to agree with that. I don't think it's stupid either. But I did think that that was a funny and very harsh way of approaching my description of the project. Almost a form of psychology experiment. Definitely, yeah. Definitely has. Parts of that. Of course, Michael picked the bed. He loves collecting beds. Favorite meal. God, okay, I'm officially pretty far behind in chat here. Everyone, get your questions in. You have 4 minutes at 9:45. I'm not answering any questions asked after 9:45. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to save them until next week if you don't answer by then, and I will try and answer all the questions up until 9:45. Do you have a favorite dad? This isn't mom. I actually haven't picked one yet, but I definitely have a couple that I really like. You have to ask me in like a year or so. I'd probably be able to give you a better answer. Give the dog his own bed. I actually have, ironically, a whole bed for the dog, but it doesn't work because Ethan comes home at night and that bed's too close to the door. So Harley hears Ethan come home and then he starts barking and it wakes me up and then I can't go back to sleep. It's a very bad process. And so I have to have him sleep with me because then he's calm and he can't hear Ethan come in, and it's just he's close to the air conditioner, so it just blocks his hearing, and it's the only thing that works. But I literally have a queen bed. No, a full bed. But very nice mattress. Harley loves it. He likes it better than my bed, but he likes sleeping with me more. Mo beds, mo sex. I've found that to be not an actual correlation at all. Mr. Gerry, have you encountered many people who don't want to be on camera, and what do you do about it? I've encountered maybe less than 10 people who vocalized the fact that they don't want to be on camera to me. And generally I just say, okay. And then I'd like move on. And I would recommend that to any of you guys who don't want to be on camera, if you see someone with a camera, just don't go in front of it and don't talk to the person, or else you might, and you probably will end up on camera. But no one cares if you're just a stranger in public, I promise. That being said, I have violated the privacy of maybe thousands of people this year by just having a live stream going, but it's never been malicious in any way or at any point, so I think that I definitely don't feel bad about it. Everything, this is a surveillance state, this is a surveillance nation. The whole entire world is there are more cameras at everything every day. You're always being watched, so I wouldn't freak out about it. It's weirder when it's a friend. That's how I'd answer that. I've had 2 friends that I could think of that really didn't want to be on camera, and that was pretty weird. But it's indicative of the relationship in a little bit, and just indicative of maybe they're a little bit like out of touch with what it might mean and stuff. But I obviously respect it. If they don't want to be on camera, then I give them their space. My grandma, I don't think wants to be on camera. Do you hate working under any people? Yeah, I don't really like working for people because generally, unless I think I have like a lot to learn about a certain, like a really specific thing, and I'm really interested in it, I feel like, I think there's a famous saying that's like, you're either working for your own dream or you're working for someone else's dream. And I would rather spend all my energy working for my own. So when you play piano in the morning, it's midnight in Taiwan. I usually fall asleep to the music. That's awesome. Really glad to hear that. If you were still drinking, we couldn't get to be friends. That is probably true. Are there things you purposely or consciously do in the NSFW streams because you know people are watching? Things to please your fans, perhaps? No, there's nothing I do specifically. I do try and like do the same things I do with my normal camera. If someone's like, this angle's bad, or like the camera's, it's like glitching out, then I obviously try and fix that stuff. And then, same thing as now. It's I try and like keep the lighting. I try and make it a visually enjoyable experience to watch, just like every aspect of the stream. But I don't change any of my actions or routines or activities or anything. When you have a chance, I know you were emailed. All right, no more questions. No more questions. I need to get the water. I'm very behind on these questions, but I'm going to answer them all. But not if they're asked 9:46 or later. No, Mikey is not compared with Steven. They're both awesome. Dad, not mommy. What was the reason behind the last time you cried? The last time I cried was probably in January or February, and a large part of it was probably just being very emotionally unstable from like alcohol use, just having like be emotionally, mentally way out of whack for a long period of time, but just feeling like sad about my friendships and my relationships and the point that I was at in my life. A little tinge of that as well. That's way harsh, Shelby. I think it's probably true. That wouldn't mesh well with Shelby's personality. But she has told me that before. I poop only on Thursdays. Thought so. I already read that one. Shell has no chill. That's true. Shelby is very direct with what she wants and what she says, and I definitely like that about her. Make sure you get a big gas container for emergency. The tank in the year Prius you have. I heard that. I think Burns sent me that message from you, John, which I appreciate you mentioning, and that's awesome. I will do that because I appreciate you giving me that information. Shelby has no chill, indeed. Just discovered you today. I found what you're doing is fascinating. What was the main purpose of it? Seeing the reaction of people. You know what? I think that it's more interesting as the year goes on to just say that, like, just to not answer the question of what is the purpose of this project, because at the end of the day, I started this project without knowing what the purpose of it was, and like if I'm gonna be real, like I could admit that I don't really know what the purpose is still. The only thing that I came into it wanting is to do something that had never been done before, because I thought it was really interesting. I thought that people would be interested in it, and I wanted to see how it affected someone's life. That someone being me, and it's been really interesting, just like I expected. But the purpose, I don't know. Like maybe there will be one that surfaces that I can see in hindsight that I can't see at the moment. That video is classic. What's the most hurtful thing you overheard about yourself by accident? Hurtful, as in from chat. I'm not going to be able to see your response to that, but so I'm just going to have to interpret and assume that that's something about chat. I think one time, I don't know, hurtful. The only thing that comes to my mind is one time I was being critical of Ethan, and I was like, dude, all you do is like, you're grumpy all the time, and you play your video game, and like, you're just doing chew, and you don't want to talk, and you're just mean to me all the time, and you're always going through mood swings. And then someone, I think Shelbi in the chat, was like, does he realize he could be talking about himself? And it definitely made me think about the situation and think about how critical I was being of someone else. So, you know, it might have been something that I took in a good way in a little bit, but it was obviously slightly hurtful. At least made me kind of painfully reconsider what I was saying and the way that I was acting. I don't know if that's the best example. I thought it was British. I'm not. Will you seek out friendships with people who were your friends previous to this year? Yeah, but I won't seek out friendships with people who I've discovered have values that I don't really know how to phrase this. Contradictory values to my own. I will not seek out friendships to people who I have discovered to have contradictory values to my own. And I've discovered a couple of them this year. Will you marry me and help me spend my inheritance for my parents and grandparents? No, I can't help you spend your inheritance, but if you play your cards right, I might marry you for a year. Is that a penis joke? Our Q&A is scheduled every Sunday at 9 p.m. That's a 4. I'm assuming that's about the pickup line. I'm still very behind here. I heard through the grapevine that Maddie is planning on visiting soon. That might be true. Yo, Michael and Nemesis, how's it going? Yeah. She told me she was looking to come down, not this weekend, but the next one maybe. So we'll see. How much did you get from Fear Factor after taxes? Probably around 18 grand. Damn, I disliked that Mike B's video because it was too negative, and glad it was all a joke. I stopped watching his stream because of that. Oh, I feel so bad. He would be so bummed to hear that, but that is the nature of comedy, and I'm glad that it tricked you, because if you're not towing the line with a joke, then it's not a good joke. That's my opinion. Yes, be happy and have a Prius. Super fun. Thank you. Beth, Gary, Rob, Gary, score. If you ever have kids, would you be embarrassed or proud of them to look through your YouTube archive? Ambivalent, definitely. But proud of what I've accomplished in terms of doing the project. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Also, I have no idea because I'm a long way out from having kids. We're worried when you went out to play the piano last time. It says do not play the piano. That's true. I had to remove the sign, but I don't think it bothered anyone because it was still early in the day. 4 minutes, my ass. Have you ever measured down there? You look about 7 inches. All I know is that longer than Ethan's. It's good. I'm going to fly down there and steal that dog. What are your thoughts? Awesome. Go for it. He's either going with you or he's going with Ethan, and it's your call. Either way, I'm going to visit him and steal him for trips once in a while. Read the room, John. What's scored? Recorded the first episode of the podcast I mentioned last week. I think my friend sent you the link to the first. Oh, yeah. I saw on Instagram. I got the app and everything, and I tried to download it. But I saw you sent me a message on Discord, and I'm planning on checking those tomorrow morning. So, I didn't get to. I literally couldn't figure out how to listen to it on Instagram. Like, I downloaded it twice on my phone. I don't know where it is, and I have the app and stuff. But I'm going to go on Discord and check it out. I'm really stoked to listen to that. Jesus, OMG, no kidding. Thanks, Brian. I was about to do that. Do you prefer this house, your uncle's house? This house by a lot. This house is way more college. It's a lot worse living conditions, and I like that a lot because it matches like my living style at this point in my life, and I don't have to be careful about everything I'm doing, and it feels a lot more like my space. Install a bidet in your bathroom. That is out of my budget, and I'm not interested. Where are Ethan's photo shoot pics? They're on his Instagram. No prob. You can say a different question. He pretends to turn it off, and it actually works like a charm. He actually pretends to turn it off, and it works like a charm. People are not smart in general on that stuff. It was fun. That's true. Yeah. If he's talking about if people don't want to be on stream, then I definitely have tricks up my sleeve for continuing to stream. Might be a little bit unethical, immoral, but I don't really care that much. As I said, there's nothing malicious in the project, so people have arbitrary rules that don't make any sense. I don't feel bad about violating them. Just like climbing some scaffolding on a construction site. Arbitrary rules. What books are you reading now? One about a grand piano. A couple that I'm like not progressing through very quickly. And I think it's the only book I'm reading right now, like actively. I just finished a couple recently. Hello, man. I'm writing from Maldives. Cool. Budget travelers. Nice. How much do you get a month? I only get money from my Patreon. I don't have like any other recurring sources of income besides lawn mowing. And I get, you could check my Patreon. I have it all public. I think it's like 900 something right now, which is crazy because some people joined today, and that's nuts. That's really exciting. I don't want to go on the biggest tangent here. I definitely want to finish up the questions, but I mean, I don't know. I could gush all day about that. That's nuts to me. Like the support on the Patreon is totally insane. And I mean, if you guys are out there and you are a Patreon or you're thinking about becoming one, thank you. It makes a big difference in my life. Yeah, my friend's confused as to what to do after college because she knows that it's likely her law school dreams come from wanting to prove her parents wrong as they raised her to be a housewife. That's pretty interesting. It's a tough position. Wanted to ask about the time-lapse video you had done. Oh, okay. That's funny. That's probably like maybe one of the most boring ones on my highlights channel, but feel free to ask. 100. I don't know what that was in response to, Dan. I'm sorry. Thank you, Michael. Awesome. I started beating mine, stopped, and then went to someone else's. I love you, Michael. It's so rude. Michael, yes. Thank you, Shelby. Do you know what the first thing I'll do once you're no longer live streaming? Oh, man. These are all... I do want to answer these questions, but... you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll make this the rule from now on. I will answer every question up to 9:45. Every question asked at 9:45 or earlier in all the future Q&As, unless it gets totally out of hand. But I'll make it my goal to answer every question asked up to 9:45, and then after that, I'll try and answer the ones that are asked afterwards. But at 10, I will shut it off, regardless of how far I am. So I'll dedicate the next 4 minutes to keeping going, but I probably will still not get them all. And if you didn't get your question answered and you want to pose again next week, go for it. Do a little bit earlier and I'll get to it for sure. Do you know that's the first thing I'll do when you're no longer live streaming? I don't know what the first thing I'll do is, but I don't know. Probably like have sex with someone or something. I have no idea. Yeah, I'll have more perspective on the year after it's over. Why do you hate kids? Sauteed chicken. That is not a very good question because I don't hate kids. Perspective, do you have any advice you can give people who plan to also start a project like this? Yeah, I have a lot of advice. I'll probably make a video on that at some point. If I had to pick one piece of advice to give to someone who wants to start a project like this,
it would be to make sure that you're okay with every part of yourself before you start it, because once you put something on the internet, it's there permanently. And that was something that I was okay with, and I knew going into it 100% that I was absolutely going to have to deal with. And it's something that in some ways I am dealing with, in not the best ways, but in the future I'm sure I'm going to deal with a lot more in really terrible ways. But I'm around for it. That's part of the deal. I signed up for it. So that would be a good piece of advice. No problem. I enjoy it. Yeah, we had some good talks. Why am I making people cry? I'm watching from Seattle. I mentioned something. So I was about saying so. I was joking. Here's an over. Michael, when is your birthday? July 25th. Will a meteorite strike and impact the Texas area? Couldn't answer that. In the podcast, came across like you hated kids. I think part of the joke of the podcast is to be like just angry the whole time because it's like 5:30. So just like to kind of be a dick is like part of the gag. For me, it's where like a lot of the comedy comes from, like making our guest like buy the breakfast, and we make them come really early and eat like a grand slam with us, and we rush them. We're like, you have to eat everything, and I don't know. I think that's part of the humor of it. I obviously like Shelbi, and I like Luke too. I don't have anything against kids. Have it strike and impact your crappy little town. I want to live. I have a cat. Savage Chris. Q&A is great. Glad you like it. I'm sure meteorites. I don't know why, but I get the feeling your channel is about to blow up, like algorithm stuff. The Martin. Oh, that's the last thing I'll talk about. Great statement. I'm very worried about that. And part of me is excited, but to tell the truth, I'm very worried. Because I don't know if anyone is built to ever handle any level of like significant fame or exposure like this. I mean, I've lived with people watching me for a long time, 10 months now, but like living with a lot of people watching you and commenting, and that they interact, it gets out of hand. It goes back exponential. So I don't know if I'm ready for it. I'm worried about a lot of things that have to do with it. The growth in the channel has been increasing every day, which is exciting in a lot of ways, but it really is terrifying. I'm unsettled, but I'm glad to have taken the precautions I did in case this happens, because if it does happen, then I'll hopefully be at least a little bit ready for it. But thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for asking your questions. You guys are all awesome. I really enjoyed answering every question today. This was a really fantastic Q&A, maybe the best one that I've ever done and I've ever got to be a part of. So thank you all for coming. Come back next week, Sunday, same time, 9 p.m. Ask your questions in the first 45. I'll answer them, even if I have to go over an hour to get it done. And thanks for stopping answering questions after 9:45 as well. Made it easy here. Thanks, everyone. All right. I'm going to sleep.